These are the heroes we cry out for. It's the soul that struggles in search for more, and one who lives in risk because destiny would have no other way, it seems. These are the heroes when glory's hand is raised, the common man who goes without, so praise can fall on one whose shoulders will carry fame. These are the heroes of the game. In search for answers to questions of why, oh, these heroes' hearts will never die. So with tendon pulled, their heads point to the sky. The pain they feel is all inside. These are the heroes when glory's hand is raised, the common man who goes without, so praise can fall on one whose shoulders will carry fame. These are the heroes of the game. When rain falls down on common ground and the goal's one step away, a cry will rise above the crowd, and the victor's voice will say, these are the heroes when glory's hand is raised, the common man who goes without, so praise can fall on one whose shoulders will carry fame. These are the heroes of the game. These are the heroes when glory's hand is raised, the common man who goes without, so praise can fall on one whose shoulders will carry fame. These are the heroes of the game. These are the heroes when glory's hand is raised, the common man who goes without, so praise can fall on one whose shoulders will carry fame. These are the heroes of the game.
Once again, good afternoon. Thank you so much for all being here. My name is Scott Fee. I'm with Global Calgary's Morning News and Noon News, and it's an absolute pleasure to be here. And I was very thankful to be asked to be here on such a neat afternoon, having a chance to look over some of these names. Just when you start to think you know the history of some of these incredible people and the contributions they've made to this province, you dig a little bit deeper and you actually start learning something about them as well. So a real pleasure to be here, and you have a special afternoon ahead of us. Just so you know how it's going to work, we're going to make sure that we go through the program here, some special treats here in this room, and then when we go downstairs we'll actually unveil the monuments down there to recognize our champions here today. There's a few people here in the audience I'd like to recognize and point out. Our Mayor, Naheed Nenshi, here this afternoon, along with Senator Burt Brown, his wife Alice, Alderman Gord Lowe, and of course Mr. Gordon Hoffman, the founder and president of Alberta Champions, who we'll be hearing from shortly, as well as some connection to our champions as well. Some family members of our 6 champions, sons and daughters of Frederick C. Mannix, including Fred and Ron and Maureen Eberts, as well as members of their family. Thank you for being here. and some individuals closely connected to Father Lacombe. Sister Marie Pohl of Sisters Providence, Sister Marguerite St. John of Sisters Providence, Father Gerard Lestrade, and Clement and Teresa Beartree from Siksika Nation. So thank you so much for being here this afternoon, making this presentation that much more special. So this is the third Field of Fame, and we'll be recognizing today the contributions of Mary Dover, Bob Edwards, Father Albert Lacombe, Ernest Manning, Frederick C. Mannix, and Nellie McClung. So our first speaker this afternoon's a gentleman that needs very little introduction. He's done so much for the city and, to be fair, for this province, along with his volunteer initiatives throughout the city, along with his wife, Eva. Please help me recognize Alberta Champions Society President, Gordon Hoffman.
Good afternoon, Mayor Nenshi, families of the honorees, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Gord Hoffman, and on behalf of Alberta Champions Society, we would like to welcome you and to express our sincere appreciation and gratitude for your support and your presence. Alberta Champions Society was formed to recognize and honor those Calgarians that have made a significant contribution to our community. Structural pieces of steel, architecturally designed, are being placed at prominent locations throughout our city to commemorate and outline the accomplishments of these great Calgarians, now deceased. 6 statues comprise a Field of Fame, and each statue is dedicated to honoring an individual that has left a special mark on our community. Each city is the result of those that have contributed to its character, its charm, its culture, and its spirit. And it has been said that without heroes and champions, we are all plain people and don't know how far we might go. The organization consists of board members and several committees, and one of the committees is the Nominations Committee. It makes recommendations to the board as to which individuals should be nominated as honorees, and the board then makes that determination. We hope and believe that the statues and the Fields of Fame shall be inspirational and shall have a positive impact on students, youth, tourists, the citizenry, and passers-by. The more things change, the more they stay the same. And as President Harry S. Truman stated, the only thing that already hasn't happened is the history that you haven't read about. This is the 3rd Field of Fame at the Hyatt Regency. The first Field of Fame is in downtown Calgary at Jameson Place, adjacent to the Westin Hotel, and is located on the 2nd floor, aptly situate in front of a living wall. The 2nd Field of Fame is in downtown Calgary at the site of the former Calgary Courthouse, now Centre Court Park. Please visit these statues and Fields of Fame at your convenience. Fields 4 and 5 and information concerning their locations, honorees, champions, and so forth will be shortly forthcoming. We are extremely pleased and excited with the progress being made. We would like to thank the province of Alberta for its financial and related support, and we would like to thank the City of Calgary for its participation, its interest, and its support. And we would like to welcome Mayor Nenshi here this afternoon. Thank you for being here and for your support. Oh, I'm still speaking. I don't have anything very much more to say, but a few little words. In addition, there are several other people that we would like to thank. Thanks to my wife Eva and our children JJ, Tiffany, and Michael for their love, encouragement, and support. Thanks to Michael Sugarman, architect. Michael has been an integral part of the organization from the onset, has always worked on a pro bono basis, and has designed the statues and fields of fame. We are very indebted to him for all his efforts. Thanks to Advanta Design and its principal, Kent Davidson, for their technological and fabricating expertise and for everything that they are doing for the organization. And when you see the statues and sheaths downstairs, you'll realize their contribution, so thank you. Thanks to our board members, board of directors, for their leadership, encouragement, and support. And if I might name them, if you're here, please just wave and acknowledge. Ian Bettis, and I might ask you just to hold your applause until the end. Leisha Corbella, Martin Cohos, John Curry, Brian Evans, Ron Gitter, Riaz Mamdani, Dr. Mike Marr, Harold Malofsky, Tom McCabe, Connie Osterman, Ruth Ramsden Wood, Dr. Norm Shacker, Tommy Walsh, and Arthur Smith of blessed memory. Thanks to our executive administrator, Pat Christie, for her organizational and administrative skills and for everything that she does for the organization on a daily basis. And thanks also to Mike Schachter for his coordinating and his related activities. Special thanks to the ownership, management, and staff of the Hyatt Regency for allowing us to locate our statues in their marvelous and so historically appropriate building, and also to them for graciously hosting this afternoon's reception. Thanks to the wonderfully talented Stan Foster for his rendition of Heroes, as performed by him and as penned by him. And most importantly, thanks to the honorees and their families, for without them, we wouldn't be here today. Thank you so much.
All right, Mayor. Now you can come up. Mayor Nenshi, everybody.
I just thought I was following along in the program,
Fair
well, thank you very much, Gord, for those words. Not for nothing, ladies and gentlemen, was Gord Hoffman named Calgary Citizen of the Year in 2011. Really, this is a very remarkable thing. We've had some people with a great idea saying, let's figure out a way that we can honor history. Let's figure out a way that we can honor some of the great people in this history, the history of our community, that we may learn from them, that we may be inspired by them. And what started as a great idea has really grown, literally, as we're talking about wheat sheafs, into really quite a wonderful tribute to the history of our community. Now, I happen to be a bit of a history buff. And I did go through my program carefully, I promise I did, and I noticed that you're about to hear from our historian laureate, so I am not going to say anything about the history of the community, because the last 3 times I've been on a stage before poor Harry Sanders, I've said everything he wanted to say. So, the good news is Harry keeps me well informed of the various historical things that are going on. It is particularly appropriate today, though, I will say one thing that he probably is going to say. Today is Persons Day. It is the 83rd anniversary of Persons Day, if I've got my numbers right. And what a great pleasure to be honoring one of the famous 5 today on a day when all of us are remembering her legacy. And I think that is something that is really remarkable. You know, people often say to me, it's an anniversary for me too today, by the way. It was 2 years ago today that my council and I were given the incredibly humbling opportunity to serve as your mayor and as your council, and I very much thank you for that. But you know, over the last 2 years, one thing that drives me crazy is that when I am speaking to groups, sometimes in Calgary, but usually outside of Calgary, they often say, "Oh, are you the face of a new Calgary?" Now this drives me crazy. And it drives me crazy because we know, as the folks in the Champions Society understand so very well, that there is nothing new about this place except that it has always been new. That we are constantly creating this community together. And to be able to look back to our own history and understand upon what we are building is such an important part of our citizenship. And we continue to build that future together. I'm not going to go on for too long because I got some awards to give and more interesting people are coming to speak. But I'd like to tell you that this morning I did something that I love to do, which is I spoke at a ceremony for new Canadians, at a Canadian citizenship ceremony. This particular Canadian citizenship ceremony was incredibly meaningful to me because it took place in my high school gym. And I was able to tell the story of my own family and how this community welcomed and embraced them and brought them in, and how I was supported by the community, in particular by that great high school, by a great public education system, in order to be what I could be. And that 2 years ago, my dad, who we lost earlier this year, got to stand about 3 blocks away from here in an incredibly hot, incredibly noisy, incredibly sweaty room to see his son elected mayor of the city. And that really is the promise of our community. And so today, what I'd like us to do, I'm still an old professor at heart, you know, and I like to give people homework, so I'm going to give you some homework. And what I'd like us all to do today is not only remember the legacy of the 6 great leaders whom we are honoring today, but today to rededicate ourselves to continue to build this great community, to continue to build on the foundation that each of them has set, so that we too can say that we are leaving this legacy for the community in the future. And I certainly know that everyone involved with the Champions Society is doing that. Did you hear the names of the people on that board of directors? That is a pretty remarkable board you've managed to assemble there, Mr. Hoffman. Community leaders all who have done so much to build this great community. And let's today rededicate ourselves to continuing to build that community as well. And let's also be inspired not just by the names of the past, but by names of people who are doing greatly inspirational things today, including 3 young people that I am very pleased to be about to introduce you to. This is one of the great things about the Alberta Champions Society. Not just building monuments, but inspiring directly young Calgarians to learn about the accomplishments of some of the champions in the field of fame. So, I don't know why they're letting me do this, but I'm thrilled to do it. I get the opportunity to present to you some of the young people who have won a student contest to write about some of the champions today. And let me tell you, I'm still a university professor. Good writing is an important skill that is very rare, so I'm thrilled that these students are here. It was a citywide contest. It was offered to students in grade 5 through 9 from both public school boards as well as private schools in order to encourage them to explore Alberta's history and the significance of our honorees' contributions to Calgary and to Alberta. Students could participate as individuals or take it on as a class project. And they were asked to prepare a presentation about one of the 6 champions that we're honoring today. So in the spring, we had our class winner honored. The class winner was from Senator Patrick Byrne's school, another great Calgarian, and presented with their prize related to their YouTube video about Frederick C. Mannix. They got a camera for their class. They also got a pizza party. I never get to win things like pizza parties. And congratulations to that class and to their inspirational teacher, Alice Chu, who I understand is with us today. And today, I get to present to you the winners of the individual essays contest. And I am told, and I've read some of these essays, that the quality of entries was excellent, and it was. In third place, In third place, we have Adam Gee, who was in grade 7 last term at Weber Academy, for his essay, The Man with the Good Heart, about Father Lacombe. And for his work, Adam gets, oh, very lucky, a $100 certificate to Best Buy. Adam, come on up. I'll give you that, and then can you press the cheesy photo? Congratulations, Adam. In second place, we have Nicole Raposo, who was in grade 7 last term at Senator Patrick Burns School. Double winner tonight at Senator Patrick Burns, and you're going to see another double winner in a second. For her essay about Mary Dover, making a difference one step at a time. Mary gets, oh, I'm really jealous, or Nicole gets, I should say. Mary's gotten lots of recognition. She gets a sheaf today. Nicole gets, and I'm very jealous, a $300 certificate to the Apple Store. Nicole, come on up. Congratulations. In the Calgary Herald this morning, in the exact same place where my columns used to go and sometimes still do go, you would have seen a really extraordinary piece of writing. A really extraordinary piece of writing that really inspired me and should inspire all of us to think about the change each of us can make in our community. And I'm so pleased to present the first prize to Helena Cherniak-Kennedy, who was in grade 7 last year at Weber Academy, for her really remarkable piece of work, A Pattern of Life, One Block at a Time, about Nellie McClung. Helena gets a trip to Ottawa. I understand it's not in the bag. It was already presented. Hopefully you've already taken it. But Helena, we're really happy to be able to acknowledge and honor you today. It was a beautiful piece of work. Congratulations. Let's hear it once again for all 3 of our prize winners and for the wonderful legacy that they are building on today.
Thank you, Mayor Nenshi. We'd like Helena to come back up here now to read her award-winning essay. Helena.
Thank you.
Picture it. You look outside your window and see the sun shining in the blue April sky. The crocuses are just coming up through the melting snow. Your neighbors are leaving for work, but they are going to stop at the polling stations first. Today is election day for your new Prime Minister. The election campaign has been running for a long time, and you know who you would vote for. Your husband leaves to go to the polling station, but you will not be coming with him. Although you live and work in Canada, you are not considered a person and cannot vote. You are a female. Nellie Latita Mooney was born on October 20th, 1873 in Chatsworth, Ontario, and is known to Canadians by her married name, Nellie McClung. Throughout her life, Nellie showed many signs of courage, citizenship, and care for her community. Her life and pursuits teach us many lessons. Firstly, when she started her activism, she did not win everything right away and did not establish women's right to vote by herself. Although she did not always succeed, the important thing is that she persevered, and today, that is all that matters. The group of women activists to which she belonged was called the Famous Five, with Emily Murphy, Louise McKinney, Henrietta Meir Edwards, and Irene Parlby. It was this group that brought the persons case to court. The Famous Five tried to prove that women were indeed persons, as seen as the British North America Act 1867, Section 24. In this case, the Famous Five were successful in establishing by law that women were indeed persons and could be part of the Senate. Secondly, Nellie was creative in her approach to achieving change. After being rejected by Sir Roblin, Premier of Manitoba, she went to a mock parliament where she did humorous imitations of Robin to help increase awareness for women's rights in Manitoba. Thanks to Nellie McClung's creativity and persistence, in 1916, the new Liberal government allowed women to vote in Manitoba, soon to be followed by the other provinces. The accomplishments continued as Mrs. Nellie McClung was appointed Liberal member of the Alberta Legislative Assembly for the period 1921 to 1925. Today, as Calgarians, all citizens over the age of 18 have the opportunity to vote, run for government, and participate in government. And although many people think it has always been this way, it has not. In the 2010 municipal election, 53.24% of eligible voters voted. Approximately half of this percentage was women. The election results would have been very different if only men had voted. To this day, Nellie's efforts have really paid off. In Parliament, there are many women involved as senators and as members of the House of Commons. Nellie McClung. The words have meant and still mean so much to women throughout Alberta and Canada. Lively leader, courageous, spirited female role model, persistent politician. She guides us, even today. As she once said, "In Canada, we are developing a pattern of life, and I know something about one block of that pattern. I helped make it." If each citizen of Calgary helped make one block just like Nellie McClung, then our world would be a better place. Calgarians should look to people like Nellie McClung as a model of how to experiment with change. To be a leader like Nellie McClung, each one of us must have the courage and belief that we can succeed. Then we must have the perseverance to find the right path to reach our goals. Now picture this. Today is election day. You get in your car and drive yourself to a polling station where you mark a ballot. You have just given your vote for the next Prime Minister of Canada. You are a female.
Thank you again for that, and congratulations, Helena. Well, our next guest has spent 40 years in the entertainment industry, give or take, sharing the stage with the likes of Kenny Rogers and our very own Calgary Philharmonic Orchestra. So please welcome Stan Foster in singing his composition, The Heroes of the Game. Stan.
Just a very quick thank you also to Alberta Champions and for inviting myself and the Hoffmans, and for inviting my wife Linda and myself down today. Thanks, of course, for doing that. And I'm so pleased that Alberta Champions is maybe the Heroes of the Game has found a new home with this cause. I'm very, very tickled about that. These are the heroes we cry out for. It's the soul that struggles in search for more, and one who lives in risk because destiny would have no other way, it seems. These are the heroes. When glory's hand is raised, the common man who goes without so praise can fall on one whose shoulders will carry fame. These are the heroes of the game. In search for answers to questions of why, oh, these heroes' hearts will never die. So with tendon pull, their heads point to the sky. feel is all inside. These are the heroes when glory's hand is raised, the common man who goes without, so praise can fall on one whose shoulders will carry fame. These are the heroes of the game. When rain falls down on common ground and the goal's one step away, a cry will rise above the crowd and the victor's voice will say, these are the heroes when glory's hand is raised, the common man who goes without, so praise can fall on one whose shoulders will carry fame. These are the heroes of the game. These are the heroes when glory's hand is raised, the common man who goes without, so praise can fall on one whose shoulders will carry fame. These are the heroes of the game. These are the heroes when glory's hand is raised, the common man who goes without, so praise can fall on one whose shoulders will carry fame. These are the heroes of the game. Thank you. Thank you.
So now just a moment to look a little bit more closely at these individuals for those who aren't as familiar with some of their details. In this neat presentation that we have here, no number of facts can explain the origins of a city. What simply is just not enough. At the very least, we want why, and even better, who. The Alberta Champions Society is all about the people who did so much for the city and the province we live in today, and we start with Mary Dover. As one of the first female officers of the Canadian Women's Army Corps, Mary inspired women to participate in the military, helped the community to understand the important role women could play. After the war, Mary was a passionate supporter of our city, serving 2 terms as a Calgary alderman. Mary Dover is remembered as an Army officer, an alderman, and a preservationist. Bob Edwards, a newspaper editor that no one was immune to his witty and at times scathing political commentary. In 1904, Bob Edwards launched the weekly newspaper, the Calgary Eye-Opener. He championed the environment, prohibition, Senate reform, votes for women, hospitalization benefits and old age pensions, and support for the underprivileged. Bob Edwards used humor, satire to work for political change right across the province and our entire nation. Father Albert Lacombe is remembered as the man of the good heart, a peace broker among the First Nations people here, a missionary who worked tirelessly to bring his message and improve the way of life for people right across the Canadian prairies for more than 65 years. In 1883, he worked with Chief Crowfoot to allow the Canadian Pacific Railway line to pass through Blackfoot land, and according to the railway legend, CPR actually installed the father as president for 1 hour as a symbol of their profound appreciation. The Honorable Ernest C. Manning. Ernest Manning, Premier of Alberta from 1943 right through to 1968, longer than any other Premier in this province's history. Ernest Manning, known as an inspiring evangelist and a strong leader of this province, he laid the foundation of modern education, healthcare, social services system while rebuilding post-Depression Alberta into the economic powerhouse, of course, that we know it is today. Frederick Charles Mannix. The legacy of Fred C. Mannix reveals a man of exceptional talent and vision, a master builder who helped to build our modern-day Alberta. and this country and many parts of North America, to be frank. He and his wife and their children established the Carthy Foundation back in 1965 to give back to the community, and their grandchildren have maintained this legacy right up to present day. Nellie McClung, our final champion. Ms. McClung is one of the most famous human rights activists who have ever lived. She led the charge for women in Manitoba to get the right to vote in 1916. She then moved to Alberta, and while a Liberal MLA, worked on issues as healthcare, education, matrimonial property rights, and child protection. Possibly, as we've talked about already earlier today, her crowning achievement was that she was one of the famous 5 women who succeeded in 1929 in having women declared persons. It is the contribution of all of our champions inspired the following tribute to those in the fields of business, arts, volunteers, politics. It's brief, but then it's indeed to capture just a bit of the essence of our Alberta champions. We'd like to take a special thank you to Christopher Roberts, George Roberts, and Roy Christie for their video design and production assistance in this PowerPoint, as well as this next video.
At the corner of gas and oil, you can still hear the echoes of wildcatters and cowboys. They dared to dream and take brave risks. They were oilmen and ranchers, meat packers and hoteliers, and everything in between. But who were they? And how did their enterprise build our city? Name them, tell their stories, and you'll help write the history of Calgary. Great cities inspire great artists, and their work reflects the soul of the city. They did it on canvas, on stage, in words, and in music. They touched minds, stirred emotions, and motivated patrons. Entire edifices like the Jube, ACAD, and the Performing Arts Center stand in tribute to them. Name them, praise their works, and you'll help write the history of Calgary. Per capita, Calgary has by far more engineers and scientists than any other city in Canada. And since like has always attracted like, many doctors, lawyers, architects, dentists, teachers, professors, geographers, geologists, and all the accountants it took to count them have practiced to improve the quality of life in our city. Name them for the good they've done, and you'll help write the history of Calgary. Calgarians have always been very good for nothing. As volunteers, we've been staging the greatest outdoor show on Earth since 1912. We showed the world how to host the Olympic Winter Games in 1988. Good causes need good people, and Calgarians have always been generous with their time, talent, and money. Name them, give them their due, and you'll help write the history of our city. They dared to live in glass houses. Some people run for election, promote social change, or champion labor. Others fight for the environment or participate in international affairs. Brave men and women all. They embraced public service, knowing that it would rob them of their privacy and berate them with criticism. These sacrifices they made for all of us and the betterment of our city. Name them, honor their service, and you'll help write the history of Calgary. We're the Alberta Champions Society, and we'd like you to help us put a face on the past of our great city.
We're almost to the next chapter where we're going to move shortly downstairs where we can reveal the monuments. Just a quick, some thank yous to family and friends and associates of FC Mannix, Anne-Marie Edwards, Hoffman, Dorchick Barristers and Solicitors, Aon, Canadian Pacific, PCL, G-Ben, Doctor and Family, and Ranchman's Hospitality Group. Thank you so much, and please refer to your programs for all the other people that are contributing to today. Thank you for your efforts. And now I'd like to welcome the Executive Administrator of the Alberta Champions Society, Pat Christie.
Good afternoon. We are so pleased and proud to have you join us today at this event for Alberta Champions. And just upcoming is the exciting unveiling of field number 3 for us. I congratulate Gordon Hoffman and Eva on their vision here. This vision started to come about, I think, since 2003. And Gordon has worked tirelessly, and I'm very honored to have been part of this process for the last few years and to help move this fascinating project forward. Just a couple of last thank yous. I wanted to thank very much some of the folks from Balboa Investments who were with us on this field right from the beginning, deciding where to locate it, and right up to the installation this past week. Some key people who've been involved in that have been Kevin Bein-Gessner, Bob Twas, pardon me, and as well as David Moore. Please join me in thanking them. And in a moment, as we do move downstairs, I hope you'll take the opportunity to pick up our materials and our brochures and see how you too can get involved in working with us and supporting our work in the future. We'd love to have you be part of it. And as my final thank you, it's so wonderful to have the sterling talents of Scott Fee as our MC today, so I have a small thank you in remembrance for him.
Thank you, Pat. So we are going to make our way downstairs. I'll do my best to do some crowd control, but we are going to try and stay on one side of the monuments. That way that we can do the presentation in a nice fashion so all the cameras can get their shots and people can get personal shots. Certainly afterwards, please, families, friends, you can all go up and get close to them and take a look at them. But for the moment, for the first presentation, we'll make our way down there now, and please be respectful of the space. Oh, yes, and the reception afterwards in the lounge. We'll give an opportunity for, I know the members of the board would like to talk to you, as well as family and friends, so please meet us there afterwards as well. Thank you.
This one is Fred Mannix. And this one is Nellie McClung. This is Bob Edwards. This is Ernest Manning. This is Mary Dover. This is her son. Yes, he should be in here. Yeah.
Well, this is my hero.
This is Father Lacombe. She has those sisters. Okay. Where are the sisters? Yeah, come on up.
Really? Yeah, you actually do.
This is, where's the other one? Thank you. This is the Sisters of Providence.
Sister Marie Pop.
Okay, pretty good.
You want right up there? You want the bear? Sure. Just a
This young lady is 92 years young. Oh, Clement and Clarice Bear, Chief of the Siksika Nation. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm just going to take a picture. Your name tag. Perfect. Thank you.
I think so.
Thank you.
That should take
These are the heroes we cry out for. It's the soul that struggles in search for more, and one who lives in risk because destiny would have no other way, it seems. These are the heroes when glory's hand is raised, the common man who goes without so praise can fall on one who search for answers to questions of why. Oh, these heroes' hearts will never die. So with tendon pulled, their heads point to the sky. The pain they feel is all inside. These are the heroes. When glory's hand is raised, the common man who goes without so praise can fall on one whose shoulders will carry fame. These are the heroes of the game. When rain falls down on common ground and the goal's one step away, a cry will rise above the crowd, and the victor's voice will say, these are the heroes. When glory's hand is raised, the common man who goes without so praise can fall on one whose shoulders will carry fame. These are the heroes of